Hi everyone, and welcome to the presentation on our paper Seeing Eye to AI Comparing Human Gaze and Model Attention in Video Memorability. This work is a collaborative research from the Cognitive Science and Computer Vision Labs at IIIT Hyderabad. Have you ever wondered why some advertisements are so memorable while others fade away almost instantly? Or why certain movie scenes stay etched in our minds? Understanding what makes videos memorable and predicting video memorability can help improve content creation, guide effective advertisements, and even help in educational or therapeutic settings where memory plays a key role. So let's first define memorability. Memorability is the proportion of people who successfully remember a stimulus. For example, the image on the left is remembered by most people who view it, whereas most people forget the one on the right. Memorability is therefore a population concept that indicates the likelihood that any given viewer, irrespective of their individual experiences, remembers the stimulus. A key takeaway here is that memorability varies across visual stimuli and can be quantified. This means that we can score or rank images or videos based on how likely they are to be remembered.
Now let's dive into the problem this paper addresses. While prior work focuses on achieving higher prediction performance using multi feature approaches, our goal is to explore how humans look at videos while performing memorability experiments, basically, where they focus their gaze, and compare that to how a model trained to predict video memorability allocates its attention. We break this down into two main parts. One, where we collect eye tracking data to capture the human fixations in a controlled experiment. And second, we use a CNN plus transformer model to predict video memorability scores, which facilitates a study of spatiotemporal attention. And through this comparison, we are able to answer three main questions. First, does our model, trained only to predict a memorability score, exhibit similar spatial patterns to human gaze? Second, do both humans and models focus on similar objects while performing memory tasks? And third, do models assign importance to the same frames in a video as humans?
For this study, we used the Memento 10K and VideoMem datasets. Memento 10K contains 10,000 in the wild short video clips, which are generally 3 seconds long. On the other hand, VideoMem has 10,000 professionally shot videos, which are 7 seconds long. Both these datasets are labeled with memorability scores, and from these datasets, we select 140 unique videos for the eye tracking study. To conduct the eye tracking study, we recruited 20 participants, 11 males and 9 females of mean ages 22, who were students from behavioral research courses enrolled at IIIT. The participants are placed in front of an eye tracker that locks their gaze position frame by frame as they watch a series of videos displayed on the screen as shown in the diagram here. Participants are instructed to press spacebar when they feel like a video has been repeated. Once the gaze points are recorded, we process the data to create fixation maps that indicate the probability of attention at each spatial location in every frame. Given a video, we first obtain the fixation coordinates for both eyes. These coordinates are then used to construct a binary matrix of size h cross w for each participant, where h and w are the original video dimensions. Then, to account for the visual angle of approximately 1 degree, a Gaussian blur is applied to these matrices. To create the human fixation density maps, we average the matrices over the corresponding frames of the videos across all participants. To ensure compatibility with the model's attention maps and to enable a fair comparison, the fixation maps are resized to a resolution of 224 cross 224 pixels.
Now let's move on to the model. We sample T frames from the video and pass it through an image encoder backbone. Since our goal is to analyze the spatiotemporal attention, we use a CNN backbone, ResNet 50. We flatten the tokens and add two types of position embeddings for space and time. We prepend a CLS token and pass the sequence to a transformer encoder. Lastly, we pass the CLS token's output to an MLP to predict the memorability score. To analyze spatiotemporal attention, we extract the self attention matrix from the last layer of the transformer and take a mean pool over all the heads. The row corresponding to the CLS token, ignoring the self token, will be used for further spatiotemporal analysis. To enable comparison with the human fixation maps, the attention maps are upscaled to 2 to 4 cross 2 to 4 using pyramid expansion. Our model that relies on a single semantic backbone achieves results on par with the state of the art.
Now it's time to compare the human fixation density maps with model attention. Here, the top panel shows the human fixation density maps and the bottom panel has the model attention maps. You can see how both highlight the same foreground object, usually faces, bright signs, or actions, indicating a strong correlation between human gaze and the model's predicted area of interest. Let us now try to quantify this alignment. To do this, we use several standard saliency evaluation metrics, which are AUCJ, NSSCC, KLD. We also used AUCP, which is a novel metric that will be discussed in the further slides. To have a fair baselines to compare to, apart from comparing the average human attention maps and model maps denoted by MH, we also computed similarity between corresponding fixation maps of two halves of the participant denoted by HH. HH shuffled denotes the similarity between the fixation maps of shuffled videos between two halves of the participants. The numbers show a general trend of high similarity, which is greater than chance. Another key insight from our study is that the alignment between human and model attention increases with video memorability. We categorized videos into memorability bins from low to high and found that the model and human gaze patterns align better for highly memorable videos. One of the key challenges in comparing attention maps is center bias, the natural tendency of human viewers to fixate near the center of the screen. To address this, we implemented two solutions. First, being the novel metric AUC percentile. This enhances AUC JUD by introducing a permutation based approach to account for center bias. Instead of a direct match, AUCP calculates the percentile based AUCJ score by comparing the model's predictions against a shuffled set of fixation maps across different videos. The other solution was center bias Gaussian models. We use these as baseline models which assumes all fixations are centered. We compare the median AUCJ scores across frames for both the models and perform a t-tests. Results show that while humans do tend to look near the center, our CNN and transformer model exceeds the performance of this baseline significantly, indicating that it learns to focus on meaningful regions rather than just relying on a center fixation tendency.
To have a deeper understanding of where the models and humans focus, we identify what objects exactly they pay attention to. To do this, we extract panoptic segmentation labels for the videos using mask former. Then, using the Coco stuff hierarchy, we divide the objects into stuff or things. You can refer to the given figure to understand what comprises stuff and things. Now, we visualize the model's attention and human fixation based on segmentation labels. The pixel count in blue represents all pixels receiving equal focus. Counts above this indicate increased attention, while any counts below this indicate reduced attention. We observe that attention increases or decreases in similar ways for models and humans. Further, within both things and stuff, we observe consistent variations in attention. Certain objects, like people or birds, consistently attract more attention than others. Specifically, we observe a tendency for decreased attention to stuff and increased attention to things as depicted by this cumulative distribution. This makes sense because when watching a video, our focus naturally shifts from the background elements like walls and other stuff towards key objects like people and other things in the frame. Now that we have established alignment across space, let's explore alignment across time. We analyze whether humans look at similar regions across frames of videos and find that they are more consistent in the initial frames of the videos as compared to the later frames, as depicted by the blue line in this graph. It is possible that it is driven by the center bias, as most videos have salient central regions in the beginning. To rule this out, we specifically looked at a subset of videos with off center content appearing at the initial frames. And even there, we observed a similar pattern of high attention in the early frames, as seen in the green line on the plot. Moving on to the model, we found that the model too exhibits higher attention during the initial frames of the video. To rule out architectural bias, we reverse the frames of the videos while preserving the same temporal position embeddings and observe that the model still gives attention to the early frames that now appear at the end of the graph. To investigate further, we compute average optical flow per frame and find that motion is strongest around the middle, and this suggests that motion is not the driving factor that increased attention to the early frames. And so we conclude that our model, trained solely to predict memorability scores, has learned to attend to visual information that most participants look at in the earlier frames of the videos. Thank you for your time. For more details, you can visit our project page.